morning, everybody. I'm not even really sure what day of the week it is. I think it's Thursday. I started to say Wednesday. It is Thursday. It is December 30th. I have not really been on much. I mean, I've been on to the point of I'm like reading a few comments and making a few comments, but I really haven't. Like the last actual CMC video or live or whatever that I watched was the night she got the stars, but apparently I logged out and closed her off before all the drama started because someone had posted, my brakes are squeaking, that's one more thing to add to my to-do list or to my to pay list. I need windshield wiper fluid. I forgot to tell my husband to put that in. I'm just so behind on everything, as you can tell. Maybe I need to up my fish oil, increase my fish oil, or tie a ribbon around my finger like Uncle Billy on It's a Wonderful Life, so I will be able to remember what it is. But anyway, she was just so cocky and arrogant, and the way that her supporters were behaving in the comments, denying the fact that she was getting more money than she actually was. They want to convince those few that are just not quite paying attention or not paying enough attention or who are new that she's really not getting that much money, And so $1,000 is what a lot of them were trying to say she was going to get. And so I just, it was starting to turn my stomach just to sit there, because I'm going to tell y'all something, and I'm not saying this because I want any kind of sympathy or I want any kind of, I don't want anybody to get this as like any kind of way, shape, or form of like dry begging or anything. I'm not asking for anything. I don't have a cash app or nothing like that, so don't take it in that direction. But my family's struggling right now financially, and I know most of you, or many of you, I won't say most, but a great number of you probably are as well. My insurance on my car has went up. I'm going to have to try to get some quotes I have no idea. When you contact them and ask them, why did my insurance go up? I've had no accidents. I've made no claims. I've not changed vehicles. Because Kentucky raises their prices. That this is happening to. I know it's happening to many people. So when you're sitting there, and she calls it jealousy, but it's not jealousy. It's like you're in this state of like, how can this be happening? How can a scammer, a known liar, a known thief, a known con artist, a known just not a decent human being in any way, shape, or form, how can these people throw money at her? And someone suggested yesterday, I did catch a quick little, I don't want to quote it because, I can't remember which group posted it, but it was just saying that it is a war zone between the haters, so-called haters, which is all of us that are on the opposite side, and then her supporters. She's created a war zone. She doesn't say to these people, here's my content. I'm going to, she might do a makeup live once in a blue moon just to appease them. But she doesn't say, here's my content. I'm actually going to carry through with my content. She sits there, and even when she does do content such as makeup, she talks about the haters the whole time and how the haters have gotten all this other stuff taken from her. And don't be surprised if you don't get something saying that to you before too much longer. See her post something saying, the haters had my stars taken away, and I didn't get the star money, and I didn't get my bonus money, and it's all the haters' fault. And now here I am, right back down in the same dark hole. Can't pay my bills, can't buy food, can't do this and that. Because it's a habit with her now. she says she doesn't have a drug habit. She has a t-shirt habit. She also has a habitual lying habit. She also has a habit of conning people and manipulating people. And so, sitting there watching her the other night, knowing that myself and so many other people are struggling right now and just trying to figure out how am I going to pay this? How am I going to keep my vehicle paid for? How am I going to keep my lights turned on? How am I going to keep food on my children's table? How am I going to do this and that? And to sit there watching her soaking up all this money and acting like it's nothing to her. Because she will benefit from the money. She'll have a great time, her and Ed and Mama Con and whoever else. And everybody's like, well, I hope the IRS takes it. And I hope the court takes it. Well, the IRS maybe will back up and make her pay taxes on that, but that could be a year, 2, 3 years down the line, as backed up as they are. And, I mean, I'm not saying that they shouldn't, but yes, they definitely should. But my stance on that is they should take that money out before they even send her a nickel of it, you know, because they do your paycheck. When you go to your job and you get paid this week, your employer has already deducted your federal, your state, whatever other deductions, they take it right off the top. But I guess maybe they consider tell these gullible people who believe everything she says. And then she's got her flying monkeys in the comments, you know, repeating over and over again. It's like a subliminal message to those supporters. She's not getting all this money because, you know, Facebook takes half for the stars. That's what she wants them to believe, which we all know that that's not true. But, you know, it is what it is, and she is what she is, and she's not. This little bit of money, this was just a little taste of blood for her. For a vampire, that was just a little taste. Because now she thinks I see that I can manipulate them by using the haters, and that they will send me money just to piss off the haters. So now she's going to do this every couple of months. And she's going to get this money, but is child support going to get any of it? You know? And there's one thing, and I know sometimes families will withhold comments. They will withhold arguments because they don't want to go there. And they've all... Let me tell you something about narcissists. Their families pretty much figure them out. You'll have 1 or 2 members of the family that will be in denial about their behavior, that will be in denial about what they are and how they behave. And then you'll have other family members trying to tell everybody else in the family what they are doing. This happened in my own family, and I turned out to be the bad guy because I was telling everybody else, you know, watch out for this one, and the things they're saying to you is a lie, and they're manipulating you. And then when I started to show proof of that, then I was the one that, you know, not only the narcissist, but the ones that was helping the narcissist, all turned on me, you know. And so that happens sometimes. So it gets to a point that those family members will stay silent. And they're like, I don't want to get in the middle of all that. But this uncle and his wife, who have these boys that have raised them since babies, they should speak up at this point, because she's always on there saying, I didn't give up full custody of my kids. She's kind of just planting this little seed. It's almost like a threat to her uncle and his wife to say, you know, I could go get those boys right now if I wanted them. Well, hopefully the good Lord in heaven and the court and the judge who would be in charge of making that decision would say, oh, but no. Oh, but no. Because you've not had them in your life from birth, so why show up now? To try to get out of paying child support? Or possibly to just stick it to the aunt and uncle, you know. I don't think a judge in his right mind, or who wants to actually be reelected or reappointed at some point, would ever give custody of those boys to her. But she plants that little seed out there. It's almost like she's hoping that her aunt and uncle will back off, because they're so scared, you know. And then all the other family members are like, well, don't get her upset, because, you know, she'll cause problems for all of us. Or you know, we don't want to be put in the middle of all this, so let's just stay quiet about it, because that's the way it goes with narcissists. And I would say that most of the people in her family already know her manipulation, already know her lies and her bad behavior, and they probably pretty much just stay out of it. But I wouldn't stay quiet if I was this aunt and uncle at this point. I would definitely be there for her court hearing. I see a lot of people on Facebook say that they're going to show up. Well, I live pretty close to Hazard, and I'm not showing up, or Jackson. I'm a couple hours from there, but compared to a lot of you all on here, I'm closer than many people. But I'm not planning on showing up, you know. Mostly just because of the things going on in my own life. And with the year wrapping up, and it's time to start making those resolutions, everybody. I hope everybody's got theirs down and ready. But the truth of the matter is, I don't really have any to make. Other than I really want to focus this year on my health. And then I'm not going to sit here and say, well, I'm going to lose 20 pounds or 30 pounds or 1 pound. I'm just going to say that one of my, I don't even like to call it a resolution, because you're setting yourself up for failure. But I did read this thing last night that stuck with me. And I can't quote it word for word, but basically it just said, give it 6 months. Whatever you set out to do, whether it's a new job, a new town that you're moving to, starting school, trying to lose weight, trying to, you know, paint your house, whatever it might be that you might take on. Give it 6 months. Don't give up. Don't quit. Every time you have a little setback or failure, or you're not doing as well as you had hoped. I'm going to pull up. I backed a little bit too close to this fence. So I'll pull up just a little tiny bit. But I can never really tell. I don't want to get too close to it, but I don't want to be right out in the middle of the parking lot either. But if you try something for 6 months and you don't give up every time you fail, and you don't give up every time you have a little setback or things are not going your way, if you just continue to try, at the end of that 6 months, you can either look back on it and say, I did it. I accomplished my goal. I completed the task or whatever. I like this new job. I'm going to stick with it. I like this new body. I like this new town. I like this new boyfriend or girlfriend. I like these new shoes. You know, whatever it might be. But if you don't, at the end of that 6 months, you can say, well, I at least tried. I didn't give up. I stuck it out. I stayed with it. So to me, that's better than making a resolution to say, this is going to be the year that I quit smoking, or this is going to be the year that I lose 30 pounds, or this is going to be the year that I, whatever, you know. Hopefully that any of you who hear this who are resolving to quit smoking, please do not give up. Keep fighting. Every time you get a craving for a cigarette, just fight through it. There are programs out there. I don't know about where you all live, but I know that in my town, in some other towns locally, there are programs. Now with the Rona restrictions and stuff, I don't know, but I know that some of the local health departments have smoking cessation classes. And I know you're thinking, I don't need to go to school to learn how not to smoke. But what I'm saying is you watch a film or two, they may even be able to do it online with the restrictions. Give me a drink of water real quick here. I just washed my hoodie a few days ago, and the sleeve is already dirty. I don't know what I've gotten into. My car, probably, because it's filthy in here. That's going to be one of my resolutions, is to clean my car out and keep it clean. It's that I quit, and I encourage everybody to just quit smoking. And I know y'all are saying, who are you to tell me what to do? And I don't want y'all to get that idea. I'm just saying, for your health. And but I didn't come on here this morning to become like a, smoke expert. I just started talking. But I'm just rambling. And as this week wraps up and we're coming to the end, and we're coming to the end of the year and starting a new year, I know no matter what resolutions any of us make, and whether we stick to them or we don't, whatever we decide to do, any of us, whether we are successful at it or not, CMC is going to still be sitting there on that bed. She's not going to change. Her page is not going to change. She's going to be doing comedy now. She's going to be another Joan Rivers. She's going to be, giving all this content and doing all these different things. She said the exact same thing a year ago, and I'd say if people went back to each December video of her, she said the exact same thing the last 5 or 6 years. But she's not going to change because she's a narcissist, as I have said a million times. And they don't change. They only change victims. They may change strategies from time to time. If they hone in on a victim and they're not getting anywhere with that victim, they may change the way they go about it. So many times she said there, guys, we have a bill that we forgot to pay. It just popped up out of nowhere. We forgot all about it. We got to get it paid today. And there's some people out there who say, okay, I don't want to see her go without, so let me throw her a few dollars. And when that stops working and people start to say, well, why didn't you forgot that bill last month, so why did you forget it again? Looks like you would have made a note of that. Looks like you would have remembered. So you didn't end up, forgetting to pay it again like you did before. So when that stops working, well, guys, we just don't have anything to eat. We're starving. You can look at her, and like I said, I'm not body shaming her, but you can look at her and go back through this past year and look at her videos. And did she say the other day that she was like 218 pounds? And then someone else said that on her arrest, on her mugshot, it listed her weight as 260. I didn't see that, so I could, I don't know whether she's 260, 220, 230, whatever. But you can look at her from 6 months ago and look at her right now sitting on that bed, and she has not lost any weight. Unless she has some horrible disease, underlying condition, making her gain weight and stay bloated. She's not hungry. She's not going without food. And maybe if someone said that when Ed is in the background moaning, that he's really hits his stomach and he's just so hungry. He's just like, oh, I'm just so hungry. Okay, Ed. Oh, Ed moan alone. Ed moan alone. I still stay with my first original idea that Ed should put that engagement ring, it's probably non-existent engagement ring, but he should put it on his own hand, the hand that he likes so well, you know. But don't look for her to change. And I know most of you already know this, and you're like, well, why are you saying that? Because we all know. I know you all already know. There may be one or two out there that don't know, and there may be one or two out there that really believe that someday she's going to wake up. Someday she's going to start living this whole new life, and she's going to look back on her life and say, gosh, I was just so bad and horrible, and I just mistreated so many people. But she's never going to look back on it and look at it that way. For one, she doesn't see what she does as a problem. She doesn't see what she does as something bad. To her, it's a normal way of life. Bumming money off people, begging for people to give her money, crying and making up lies about her lack of money, her lack of food, her mother's lack of food, her niece's lack of school clothes, her uncle's lack of whatever, or paying for someone's funeral, or whatever it is that she's begged and bummed and lied about over the years. She'll come up with new scenarios to beg and bum and lie about. And I made a post the other day about the Bible and her saying she needs a Bible, and someone commented on that and said there's nothing wrong with a person having a Bible, and if everybody would read the Bible, they might change. Well, I want to say to that person, I commented back to them, but I want to say this to them. I agree with you about every other normal human being on the planet, but not a narcissist. There's no redeeming a narcissist. They do not have a redeeming quality. And I know a lot of people believe that's not true. They say everybody can change, everybody can be saved. That's not true. I don't claim to be no expert on the Bible. I went to Sunday school and church when I was a little girl with my grandmother and my parents. You know, I go to church now from time to time. I don't claim to know anything more about it than anybody else, but I do know this. And I know that there are people out there who, when you talk about this type of thing, that they get turned off. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear this. This is the part of life, and this is the part of Christianity or religion that they don't want to hear about. Is there are evil, satanic, demonic people put here on this earth to test us. You can't believe that every single living person, every being is good and redeemable and quality and sent here by God, because they're not. If everybody was perfect, like I said one time before, if there was no hardships in life, if everybody had it perfect and everybody was good and kind-hearted and gentle and loving, it would be a perfect world. But that's not what our world is. Our world is a test. I'm going through a test right now in my own personal life with finances and jobs and all this type of thing. And I stay stressed out about it, and I stay worried, and I can't help it because I'm a worrier by nature. You know, I'm just a worried person. I'm a worst case scenario. Look at the darker picture before I figure out a way to make it lighter, I guess. And it's just something that I can't help in myself, you know. Maybe that's something I need to work on. But there are, if you believe in Christianity, if you believe in religion, whether it's Christianity or another religion. You have to believe that we are told that there will be dark, evil entities on this earth, that we will encounter them. And they exist in the embodiment of a narcissist. You cannot tell me that someone like Ted Bundy, I'll use him as one example, but there are much darker ones, Jeffrey Dahmer, um, these, there's probably many of them out there that we've never even heard of and never will know about because they're getting away with it. You know, raping and torturing children, raping and torturing other people, dismembering their bodies, and they're evil. They're psychopaths. They're sociopaths. They're dark souls. They have no redeeming quality. Could you look at someone like that and say, all they need is a Bible and they'll turn their life around and they'll be saved? No, no, no. I'm sorry. Some of you may disagree with me, and they're just not. There's some people that are just not redeemable. They weren't meant to be redeemable. There can be no heaven without a hell, you know. There can be no good without bad. You can't learn a lesson without someone coming along to test you or to make you realize that you need to learn a lesson. This is what happened with my case, with my narcissist that I, ex-narcissist or the narcissist that I encountered that came along to test me. And that soulless entity is still on this earth, walking around doing the exact same thing to other people, and will continue throughout his life, and CMC will continue throughout her life. Judging and testing and lying and tricking and conning and deceiving people. She can talk about the Bible, she can talk about going to church, she can talk about God, all she wants to. It's just one more way of manipulation. She looks at her audience. Know your audience. Know the room. She says she's a comedian. Well, a comedian knows the room. They watch the room. They know the room. And, I don't know what else I can say to those out there who are Christians and who are good souls, who want to believe that there's good quality in everybody. I'm sorry to come along and be the one to oppose that, but I do, because I've seen it myself, and I don't see anything redeemable in her. I know there are people in the awareness pages right now commenting, maybe one day she'll change. Maybe as she gets older. No, she don't change when she gets older. I've said this before. I know everybody's tired of hearing me talk by now. I've talked longer than I should. But by now, she's just starting into her older years. She's only in her 30s. Excuse me. How do you think she's going to be in her 40s, 50s, 60s if she lives that long because of her health? She's not going to change and get better. She's not going to stop lying. Did she ever do any of the giveaways for Christmas? She said after January, well, that's only a few days away. Do you all really believe she's going to do that? And if she does, by some chance, do you really believe it's legit and above board and honest? And that the so-called winner is not a fake profile or someone who she's working with to, manipulate everybody? Because that's all she's about, is manipulation. But I did have to take a quick break from her. I did have to step back for a few days. Because when you're already kind of in a dark place in your own mind and you're kind of going through your own personal struggles, to sit there and watch her, it just brings you down. It brings you down. So anybody right now who's feeling depressed over all this, it's not even our life, you know. But we're feeling depressed about it. We're feeling depressed about her being able to manipulate people. We're feeling depressed because we're watching these people get taken and they don't wake up to it. And we're like, why can't they see what we see? So it makes us more depressed. It makes us more upset. And I know why the awareness people continue to fight to bring awareness about her. Because they want to save one person or two or three or 10. So don't stop putting up the good fights. I haven't even watched Exposure Room or any of the other pages, videos. I'm so far behind. But you know what? Maybe in a way it's a good thing because, I mean, maybe I did need to take a little bit of a break from it to try to focus on my own life. And, you know, if you're going through something right now where you need to be focused on your child or yourself or your job or your husband or your home life or your sick parent or whatever, turn her off and go tend to that. Because in the long run, here's my big ending epiphany advice for everybody. In the long run, we still have to live our lives and we still have to deal with our problems. We will still have good times with our families. We will still have if you still have your parent in your life, spend time with them when you can, because, you know, life is going to march forward for all of us, good or bad. But she's still going to be sitting right there on that bed. So you're not missing that much, you know, if you take a break. When you come back in an hour or two or a week or 2 weeks or a month, she's still going to be sitting right there on that bed showing the stuff that somebody left in her mailbox, showing the stuff that she, you know, got from other people, and lying and cheating and manipulating and stealing and conning. And the list goes on and on. I'll try to make another video for New Year's Eve tomorrow if I get a chance. If I don't, I know nobody's stuck around to watch this long-ass video. I didn't mean for it to go this long. But for those of you who might have, and I will be posting this to my YouTube on my CMC scammer playlist. So I just say to you all, thanks for listening, and, you know, have a great day.